Isang bulan na mo ron chumena matagni ko ni rongo ni bibo ko matagni ke misa mo. Niya na isang bulan na sero ko ni sana. Chumena kino na mo ron chumay. Tu na sile. Isang bulan, oyo Mr. Ben.
Kela pa?
Na magkikira ni bibo mataka mo ni chikira mo ron buka may na ono kinadiwa na Bula FM.
This is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. In this bulletin, over 600 domestic violence cases reported at Fiji Women's Crisis Center. Fiji Airways pays $2.5 million dividend and $1.5 million paid to landowners of the bauxite mines in Nawai Levumbua. Fiji Women's Crisis Center has received over 600 reports of cases of domestic violence in the first half of the year. The cases were recorded at FWCC offices in Suva, Nandi Bar, Rakiraki and Lambasa. Eleanor Tarangaivu has more.
The Fiji Women's Crisis Center received an average of 4 cases of domestic violence a day from January to June.
There is a lot of discrimination and violence. That's the indication that is happening out there. But though the figures are shocking, it is still important to note that actually women and girls and children are accessing justice. They're actually knowing where to go and and reporting. So it's not just to us, but also to the police.
342 domestic violence cases were reported in Suva, 141 cases reported in Nandi, 95 in Ba, 46 in Lambasa, and 18 in Rakiraki. The statistics released by the Fiji Women's Crisis Center this morning also revealed 37 child abuse cases during that period. There were a total of 12 sexual harassment cases and 293 reports were classified as other cases. Ali says that while the figures indicate a lot of reporting, there are also a lot of unreported cases.
There's lack of services, lack of knowledge and information, lack of knowledge about their rights, all those things. And the further away one is from urban areas, like from the cities and the towns, the more the underreported.
Ali says the traditional thinking that we don't report domestic violence needs to be eliminated.
We still have very traditional gendered attitude about violence against women, that it's a private affair, domestic violence, and this whole thinking, it's only your husband. If he assaults you, so what? So they're almost condoning when a man beats up his wife and ill-treats her, and it's an ongoing thing.
The Fiji Women's Crisis Center provides counseling to the victims when they come to report their case. And depending on whether the victims agree, the case is then reported to police. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
Fiji Airways has paid its first dividend in 8 years to the government. The $2.5 million check was handed to Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum this afternoon.
This payout is the result of Fiji Airways' record $60 million profit last year.
The last dividend that we would have paid was 2008. So, Minister, we're very pleased, and obviously one of the roles for the board is to enhance the value of the company and indeed look after the interest of our stakeholders, our employees, our customers.
The dividend is the largest chunk in the $5 million for all shareholders in the airline, including Qantas of Australia. More than 800 staff also received a profit-sharing payout of $3,000 each, while managers were paid $7,000 each.
It has obviously been a lot of hard slog. There's been a lot of reforms that have taken place. We've made a transition from Air Pacific to Fiji Airways. We've had a number of changes within the remuneration package, as highlighted by the chair. We now have profit sharing, the only state-owned enterprise in Fiji that has profit sharing.
Aya Syed Qayyum, who's also the aviation minister, has expressed the government's desire that Fiji become the Geneva of the Pacific, which requires reliable air services.
There are many international organizations that are based in Fiji, and indeed many more can be based in Fiji. And so it is critical, therefore, that our national carrier does play an important role in terms of providing that facilitating role, and that is air connectivity. I think we also need to continue to ensure that Fiji Airways, definitely as a shareholder, we'd like to make a comment that Fiji Airways becomes stronger. We do have a competitive market.
Acting Chief Executive David Bowden says the airline recognizes certain lapses in services during flight disruptions, and they're taking steps to ensure these aren't repeated and that passengers are not inconvenienced. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Natural Resources has been informed that $1.5 million has been paid to landowners of the bauxite mines in Nawai-Levumbua on Vanuatu. The committee is receiving submissions from the public about a petition calling for a full and fair share of royalties for the mining of bauxite. Ellen Stolz reports.
Committee Chairman Choeli Thawaki says landowners should change their mindset about resources on their land. He adds they should use proceeds from resources like bauxite properly because they will not last forever.
We are cash poor because the little cash that we have, we don't put that cash into investment. We share. So it is, I think it's about time now that we now teach and convince our people with whatever little money they have, put it into investment.
The Northern Development Program on National Centre for Small and Micro Enterprises Development, which comes under the Ministry of Industry and Trade, presented its submission to the committee. Program Manager Waisele Tuindama says they can teach landowners and villagers.
We could, even from the beginning, even capacity building, doing business training, even prior to them investing their funds. I agree, we should be involved. But somebody has to tell us. We can just go and, and go inside the ring and try telling them this. I don't know, probably the Commissioner's Office should invite us to be involved initially in these projects, Chairman.
Derek Q of mining company Arum Explorations Fiji Limited, who was present at the meeting today, said he did not have answers to questions from the committee because he was summoned to attend at short notice. The company will provide the answers when the Parliamentary Standing Committee visits the bauxite mine next week. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
Police are neither confirming nor denying that a suspect has been identified in relation to the rape of a 9-year-old girl 16 days ago in Nakasi, Nausori. Fiji Sun reports sources have told them that a man allegedly fitting the description of the wanted person was taken from Lautoka to Nausori. Police spokesperson Ana Naisoro this afternoon told FBC News that they're sticking with their previous statement that investigations are continuing. However, Naisoro did say that they are questioning some people on the matter. The victim was attacked while on her way home from school. The government is looking forward to receiving more submissions from the Fiji National University in areas of capacity building development and introducing quality programs. Minister for Education Dr. Mahendra Reddy says institutions such as FNU play a vital role in the economy. Ali Kimbia has more.
A well-equipped and resourced tertiary institution will help bring out the best in students. And Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says changes are important for Fiji National University to deliver the best education to students.
We understand that to have a good quality university, you need to attract quality staff. Last year there was changes to staff salary. This year again there will be changes to staff salary so that we continue to retain quality staff within the university as well as attract staff from outside market where we could get quality staff from.
FNU Acting Vice Chancellor Professor Ian Rouse advised students at the open day today to take a closer look at their career paths.
It's a great opportunity for current students and staff to talk to potentially future students about the diverse range of careers. They can come along, the doors are open, they can go and see exhibitions, but they can talk to people and say, what would it be like to be an accountant or a doctor or an engineer or someone working in agriculture?
FNU says educating students to become successful in life is its main priority, and Minister Dr. Reddy says the government will continue to support education and build a more knowledgeable society. Ali Kibia, FBC News.
Coming up, stakeholders look at ways to bring traditional foods back on the menu to curb diabetes.
घर संसार में आपका स्वागत है। आपका अपना छोटा सा स्वर्ग, जहाँ प्यार भरे रिश्ते पलते हैं, जहाँ हेल्थी रहने की सलाह दी जाती है, जहाँ हम आपको और भी सुंदर बनाते हैं और जहाँ स्वाद की सौगात भी है। नमस्कार, मैं हूँ पल्लवी। सोमवार से शुक्रवार 9 से 12 तक रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर घर संसार में शामिल रहिए मेरे साथ। ऐसा सुंदर सपना अपना।
Yatsen School in Suva has fallen victim to thieves. 3 classrooms were broken into yesterday. Police forensics officers were at the scene this afternoon. FBC News understands the classrooms were also vandalized. And a short while ago, police spokesperson Anna Naisoro confirmed there was a break-in. She says nothing was stolen. Our ancestors did it right. That is one of the key findings highlighted at the Diabetes and Non-Communicable Diseases Congress in Lamy. Participants discussed ways to glamorize traditional food and put them back on our menus. Chanel Sivan with this report.
They say everything went fine until post-independence from 1970. Non-communicable diseases like diabetes began to emerge in Fiji as more people started adopting modern flavors in cuisine. Fiji needs to get back there again, and the health minister this morning specifically told the stakeholders to reverse the process.
The stats that I've seen back from the 80s just show that things keep on getting worse and worse and worse. That sort of way of thinking is something that we need to deal with. There's a belief that it cannot be reversed. That's the sort of sentiments that I'm getting. But I believe otherwise. I believe that it's not inevitable, that it can be reversed, and that we must really be focused on.
Dr. Chone Vuli from the Foundation for Rural Integrated Enterprises and Development, or FRIEND, says Fiji needs to get back and harness tradition.
The herbal teas to the fruits, that has been the methodology used by our forefathers anyway. They made flour, they made bread out of flour, they baked bread, root crops, fruits, they dried, they stored for rainy weathers. It kept them healthy, food security, so they had it right.
One of the other suggestions made by the Basketball Fiji is to incorporate sporting activities with healthy food programs.
That was part of our strategic plan, about our development plan, to start our development from a very young age. Not only to teach them how to play basketball, but also to share with them the importance of healthy food for anything that comes around the sports.
Diabetes Fiji President Dr. Wahid Khan says diabetes has now become the second-ranked killer in Fiji. And if families do not become serious, there will be more and more lives lost to diabetes, which is preventable. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Eid celebrations in the country are always associated with forgiveness and forgetting any animosity that people may have against one another. This was the message given by the Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum during post-Eid celebrations at the Sunshine Special School in Lautoka. Said Qayyum says apart from marking the end of the fasting period of Ramadan, Eid also gives Muslims an opportunity to help underprivileged people within their society.
People who may not be able to move around as much as we can, not have the level of ability, and this is the time to remember about them. This is about a time to thank God for what we are, what we have, and to be always appreciative that there is always somebody who may not be in the same position, the same better position as you are.
300 students and other invited guests were part of the celebrations yesterday. A new $6.2 million building has opened at International School at Lauvala Beach Estate in Suva. The building will cater for about 600 students currently enrolled at the primary and secondary schools. Tokasa Rainima reports.
The new complex, which took about 18 months to construct, will meet the growing demands at the international primary and secondary schools. Chief guest and former ISS Council Chairperson Mark Hallaby says they expect to have about 1,000 students by 2020.
Expatriates who bring their expertise to this country will not come with their family if the schools available to their children was not to the same standard to what they've been used to. And unfortunately for Fiji, sometimes those standards are well above what the local schools can offer.
School principal Anna Masden says the facility has a new library which will be used by students from the primary and secondary schools.
We have new administrative offices, so all of our administrative function is kept now in this building. We have an amphitheatre downstairs, we have a climbing wall, a new canteen and cafeteria.
Invited guests, parents and students packed the amphitheatre to celebrate the opening.
It's really special that this school has been built after so many years of hard work. And as times are progressing, our school is progressing, and it's nice to see change.
It feels 10 times bigger.
When I first came to ISS, there was a lot more green in the school, and so when they first talked about the project to build this big new building, I was a bit worried that they'd remove that aspect. But looking around now, you can see a lot of plants, and it still has that more of a tropical island feel to it, which is nice because we're in Fiji.
International School Suva was established about 40 years ago. ISS is an independent co-educational day school that offers preschool, primary and secondary education. Tokasa Rainima, FBC News.
The search continues for Fiji's top model who will represent at the country at the Miss World pageant in December. In the midst of the judging and selection process, the contestants are also raising funds for a worthy cause. Chanel Sivan reports.
A fundraising fashion show was held in Suva last night, and proceeds from the event will go towards the purchase of a new ventilator for the Colonial War Memorial Hospital in Suva. Pageant director Andy Blake says the machine, which costs $65,000, will go to the children's ward.
Every country is encouraged to select a charity that is close to the hearts of the organization. We chose to work with the Children's Hospital because our managing director Lara Chung also had a personal situation with her little child, and that inspired us to doing the work. We were raising funds.
Miss World Fiji will be crowned at the Pacific Harbour on Saturday. The winner will represent Fiji at the Miss World pageant in China later in the year. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening. In sports tonight, Nandi Rugby aimed to seal its Skipper Cup semi-final spot this weekend, and Suva football coach still waiting for senior players to turn up to training sessions. Details after the break.
If you just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
The Vodafone Flying Fijians held another training session in Sacramento this morning ahead of its Pacific Nations Cup match against Samoa on Saturday. Team manager Humphrey Tawake says with Fiji and Samoa both winning its opening round matches last weekend, they expect a tough battle at Bonneyfield Stadium under hot conditions. The match starts at 12 noon on Saturday. The Nandi rugby side hopes to secure its semi-final spot when it takes on Suva in the Skipper Cup on Saturday. Currently at the top of the league points table, Nandi admit it's never an easy feat to beat Suva at home. Josephina Vula with more.
The Jet Setters are aiming to maintain their lead on the points table following the 52 points to 17 thrashing of Maduata last week. Team manager Jeff Tamata says securing the first spot in the points table before the clash against Suva was the perfect tonic heading into this weekend.
We were expecting it to be decided after this week's game, but it came early last week after we didn't know that Suva will lose to Namosi. But after last week's rounds of games, we were shocked that we were on top, but we'll take it, and we'll hopefully we'll maintain it after this weekend's round of competition.
Tamata adds the players know the game against the capital city will not be easy.
We are preparing well to play against Suva this week, since it's going to be the clash of the top two teams in the Skipper Cup competition. Suva, as you all know, is always tough when they're playing at the NZ Stadium. And likewise, Nandi, we are also preparing to face a very determined and strong Suva side this weekend.
Nandi will take on Suva at the ANZ Stadium at 3 p.m. on Saturday. Josephina Vula, FBC Sports.
The Suva football side is not having the best of preparations for next week's Inc. Mobile Battle the Giants tournament. A majority of its senior players have been missing training sessions. Rohit Deo explains.
Not so good looking side for the capital city side, with only 7 days remaining to the kickoff of the Battle of the Giants tournament. A concerned coach, Gurjit Singh, is hoping for the best to eventuate, with very few players turning up for sessions.
Preparation is not going on so well. Actually, I would say we are not prepared for this tournament. Looking at the turnout for training, and even you can see today, very less number has turned up for training. And let's see how the players work in the first game against Nandi.
Suva has 7 players in the Fiji under-23 team that travelled to Papua New Guinea, but only one, Sakaraya Naisua, turned up for today's training session. Singh says this is a disappointing sign, with administrators assuring him that the players would have been in camp yesterday.
They were supposed to turn up to the camp yesterday and start training for today, but this morning only one player has turned up, Naisua. I did talk to the officials, and they assured me that the players will be here. They are already in the camp and they will be training from today, but unfortunately they haven't turned up for training yet.
The Suva mentor is not positive about the Whites' chances at the tournament.
I always say if you prepare well, then the team does well. But when you don't prepare well, then it's very tough. And as you said, that very tough teams in my pool, and it will be very tough for us to qualify for the events for the semis.
Suva last won the BOG title in 1995 and get its 2015 campaign underway next Friday in Nosori against Nandi at 3 p.m. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Pacific Games triple gold medalist Naomi Mbakani is still relishing her feat in Papua New Guinea. The soft-spoken champion is determined to use her achievements as an inspiration for other athletes and to promote the sport in Fiji. Talin Dadakadaka reports.
Naomi Mbakani is slowly getting back to the rigors of training after the Pacific Games, where she scooped 3 gold medals.
It was a really good experience because I won gold, an individual event that I wasn't expecting to win. The competition was really tough, including especially with New Caledonia and PNG, because they're like the really tough competitions.
Karate Fiji raked in a total of 7 gold medals, 4 silver and 1 bronze in Port Moresby, and Mbakani is hoping this success will attract more participants to the martial art.
With us, karate is not really known in the sport. I mean, the general idea of it is around, but we don't really have many athletes. Especially we don't have many females, so it would be really nice to gain more females and males as well. But yeah, just to get the numbers increasing and enjoy the sport.
For now, Mbakani is taking a short break from hectic training after dedicating the first 6 months of the year to preparing for the Pacific Games. She will make her return to the mat in 2 weeks' time as Team Fiji builds up for the World Karate Competition in November. Talent Odakadak, FBC Sports.
The Fiji women's hockey team was hosted to a lunch by accounting firm Elise Pacific in Suva yesterday. The side was acknowledged for its gold medal finish at the Pacific Games, where it beat Papua New Guinea 9-4 in the final. The team is now preparing for the Rio Olympic qualifiers in New Zealand in October. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The Reserve Bank of Fiji today launched the Be Money Wise program aimed at raising awareness about money smart principles for school-age children. RBF Governor Barry Whiteside says the initiative is expected to breed financial prudence and smartness among today's young people. Maggie Boyle reports.
The savings mascot Wooly the turtle was introduced to students from around the Nasina municipality who converged at the Valaleve grounds to be a part of the Be Money Wise program. Reserve Bank Governor Barry Whiteside launched the program as part of a financial inclusion expo.
Basically what it is aimed at school children, young children in general, to try and get them to be aware of savings, financial institutions, investment products and the like.
While the initial program is a few years old, the governor says there is a need to take the concept out into the community to be more effective.
If they develop a savings habit, then these products are available to them. Right? So inculcate a savings culture in our children.
The objective of the Be Money Wise program is to groom a savings culture as well as help young people understand the concept of investing through capital markets. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Cloudy periods with some showers were experienced over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, mainly fine weather prevailed. A broad southerly easterly wind flow prevails over most southwest Pacific Island countries. Maximum temperatures only managed to go as high as 28 degrees today. Suva hit 24, Savo 26, and Ba 27 degrees. Expect minimum temperatures of 16 in Ba and Andarivatu and 20 degrees in Suva around 5 a.m. tomorrow. Cloudy periods with some showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands are forecast for tomorrow. Elsewhere, mainly fine, cool at night. And the further outlook is for Saturday, some showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, elsewhere fine, cool at night. And recapping the main stories. The Fiji Women's Crisis Centre has received over 600 reports of cases of domestic violence in the first half of the year. Fiji Airways has paid its first dividend of $2.5 million in 8 years to the government, and police are neither confirming nor denying that a suspect has been identified in relation to the rape of a 9-year-old girl 16 days ago in Nakasi Nausori. Now to this week's poll question, we're asking, should there be a sex offenders registry? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Good night.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulavanaka. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.